You have to tell me when it's live because I can't see it. So you're saying it's live now? Welcome in to today's DLLS Cowboys podcast. It's good to see you guys. Shoddy season is underway. What is priority number one this offseason? Let's get into it. The show starts. Meow. What up, everybody, and thanks to everybody who's in the chat before we even get going. Shout out to Aaron, who said best show on YouTube. We support it. We love it. We love it. Welcome in. It's Shoddy season. We are now in the Brian Schottenheimer era. I will never forgive him for having such a long last name that nobody's totally sure if they spelled it right when they're spelling it. It's kind of messed up.
I feel seen. I feel real seen right now.
Schottenheimer.
Yep.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And don't forget the C. It's not SHOTT. It's SCHOTT. Yeah.
I don't know what you're
Schottenheimer,
saying.
man. Schottenheimer.
I don't know. What is Shoddy's salary? I don't. Come on, man. Get out of that man's pocket. My name's Jeff. I'm seated next to former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holly.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
77 yards.
It was 77.
70.
That's the
No,
point.
77.
Next to Jesse is the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, Clarence Hill.
If you want to win, put chill in.
There you go.
Word on the street is $7 million for Shoddy. Haven't got it confirmed yet, but 7.
I'd have done the job for that. I'd have done it for 6, Jer. I'd have done it for 6 1/4. And next to Clarence is the next greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys and the Shoddy Whisperer. So he's going to have scoops all the time. It's Joe Hoyt.
Tell him something, Joe.
Jesse wasn't here yesterday. I will shout out the Super Chats immediately. Why does Jesse capitalize every word? You'll never get an answer. He can't explain it. He doesn't know why he does it.
Why don't you?
Shroyd, because it's not grammatically.
When does Twitter ever become grammatically correct?
Shroyd dropping a 20 bomb. Forget Philly. How did the Cowboys catch the commies? Jaden Daniels on a rookie contract, third most cap space in the league. Good coaches, competent GM. Isn't Dallas going to be relegated to third in the division? Yeah, probably.
Question, though, is I talked to somebody out of Washington, and they said the Cowboys did the best job defending Jaden Daniels because of the speed on defense. And I just wonder with the change from Zimmer to most likely Eberflus, the scheme change, will they do the same things they gave Washington Fish last year? And we talked about it all the time. Yeah, Jaden Daniels was great, but the Cowboys did a great job defending him.
Who was the person you talked to in Washington? Was it more J.D. Vance or Hillary Clinton?
Or a guy named...
Which side?
Offensive guy.
It's whoever he bought the visor from.
Oh, Clarence is rocking a visor, and
right,
it made me
that's
so
right.
mad that I didn't have a visor on today.
Can we guess? I know who it was.
We know.
Can we
who-
guess?
We know who it was.
All right, we won't.
I know
we won't
who.
say that.
We know.
We all
I know
know.
who.
We all
We
know.
know who.
Oh,
We all know.
I know.
know.
We all
take
know.
some guesses.
You really? Yeah.
Joe
Witt.
Whitt.
No. Anthony Lynn.
Oh.
Which one?
Oh, because it was an offensive side.
Which one, Clarence?
Which
Why
one?
would you think it was Joe Witt?
Thought you might have a
Two.
relationship.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You did a story on him this year.
Didn't know you were a bad reporter. Thought maybe you knew.
There are more coaches there than just one, though, that I got relationships with.
That's fair. There, a bunch of people were in Dallas. That's a good point.
Jesse wasn't here yesterday. How'd that presser treat you? Have a good time or what?
Yeah. No.
What do you mean no?
No. Here's the thing. It's felt like when the presser started that Jerry and Steven had walked into that presser, pistols already loaded with the answer that they wanted to give the people.
Mhm.
And it didn't matter what question Calvin or Clarence or Todd or
Why'd you do it in that order?
didn't how it go? Was
Yeah.
it
Oh,
Clarence?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's how it went.
That's how
No, that's how it went.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
I think it's clear that Clarence deserves to go before Todd Archer. That's obvious.
And Calvin.
But he also deserves to go in front of Calvin by a mile.
Yeah,
But
I'm
Jerry
with you.
has too much respect for the past. He's a paper guy.
Yeah, that was
He's a
more a
paper
news
guy.
thing. It was more a news thing.
Yeah.
And Clarence has moved up in the world to the digital space, and Jerry doesn't respect us.
No, he was in the front row though. He was in a
Stay
good
in,
seat.
stay in the front row.
He was in a good seat. He was in a good seat. But it just felt like Jerry already had loaded answers that he wanted to spew off no matter what the questions were.
Yep.
And as we all know, that Jerry is very, very, very tuned in to what the paper says, the internet says, our show says. So he knew the questions that were going to be shot his way.
Shot.
Yeah. Shot. They got to play that at the games, right? Everybody. And so he gave you the
Every time we're
Jerry
punting.
Yeah, he gave you the Jerry answer, right? He gave you the word salad of just a bunch of things that he said that absolutely didn't answer questions and still left us mystified about what this team is actually going to be. I felt it was weird because here it is, you have the guy that you've hired clearly, and you just kept taking shots at him.
Yeah.
Like you just literally kept taking shots at Shotty. Oh, this is risky, and he doesn't know. And I'm just like, well,
I like his
damn.
baggage.
Like,
I got baggage.
I like his
I'm like,
baggage.
well, why the hell
his
did you hire him?
failures.
That's because Jerry is sensitive. And Jerry
Sensitive.
feels what's most important is not celebrating the man he hired and propping him up, but defending himself because he knows he's been under attack for the process.
And that's what I felt like. I felt like he came up there to defend himself. He already had the answers already pre-programmed in his mind what he was going to say. And then, we're always looking at these head coaches and saying, all right, can you win the introductory press conference? Can you say something? Can you give a feeling or a vibe that would make us feel comfortable about the guy that has now been hired to take over the team that we all cover and cheer for and so on and so on? And he wasn't bad.
No.
Like I don't think he was bad.
No, he's fine.
But he didn't say anything that was awe-inspiring. He didn't say anything that made me feel like this is going to be the change that we've been looking for. He didn't say anything that made me feel like we found the guy. Like that never came across to me in that conversation about what Shotty was. He said some key things, right? He's another one who was sitting at home. Like Mike was sitting in the garage, he was sitting in his office, and he was just taking bullet points of all the things that was said throughout his time, here in the Cowboys, and whether it was about Mike McCarthy, about the offense, so on and so forth. One thing that he didn't mention a lot of, and maybe that's just not his wheelhouse, but now that he is the head coach, I didn't hear much about what they were going to do on defense, right? Because when this thing all goes to crap, in the playoffs, it comes down to the defense being able to stop the run, the defense being able to have a plan set and ready to go. I didn't hear much about that, and I know that's going to be
You don't have a coordinator.
that's going to be built out once he gets his coordinators.
Once
but
Jerry gets his coordinator.
there needs to be, from the head coaching position, there needs to be a fundamental plan of what you're going to be across the board, not just on one side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a plan for everything: special teams, offense, defense. And he said some things that we all wanted to hear offensively: the tempo, the run, the da. We heard those same things with the last guy, and the guy before that, and the guy before that. Yeah. So for me, it's going to be a lot of, all right, cool. I heard what you said, heard it all before. Now let's start seeing, one, will you be able to do it? And then two, will Jerry and Steven give him the necessary pieces, whether that be via free agency, whether that be via trades, whether that be in the draft? Will he get, especially free agency, will he get the necessary pieces to implement whatever it is he has planned on doing, at least offensively?
You know what's funny?
It better be funny.
To me.
To you.
To us.
To us.
I just want to say today that I'm grateful Jerry's never actually been the coach. Because when he said yesterday that, I wanted to be a coach, I'm kind of surprised he's never done it.
Yeah.
Just because of who he's been in every other regard. Like this is his toy, and he does whatever he wants. Forgive my ignorance of Cowboy football with the Jimmy and Jerry stuff. There's a detail that I did not know about that I learned yesterday from somebody tweeting from somebody book about Jimmy, about how when he left, it was literally he was offered a new contract with a raise, but it was just Jerry had written in there, I have personnel control now, because Jimmy did. And Jimmy was like, no. And he left. And that the quote Jerry told Jimmy was, what you do looks fun. I want to do it. That's who's in charge. Is a guy like, he said it. I bought an occupation. I wanted to own the Cowboys. I wanted to run the Cowboys. I wanted to involve my family, and that's fine. But that's how we got to this point, was literally as you're the best team on the planet and one guy is making the decisions on who's going to be on the team. Ego man went, looks fun.
And it's the same thing that's happening now. Like when he talked about, that Brian Schottenheimer did a lot of biting his lip and deference and always kind of keeping a low profile to the things that he wanted to say.
Oh, he's gonna fit great
here. But he was just like, oh, this is great because when I start doing stuff, I know that you'll keep your mouth closed. I know that you'll bite your tongue, that you'll show deference to what I want to do for this football team. So it's like,
ring, baby.
Yeah, it was saying a lot of things that I was just like, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah. And if you're Brian, I mean, how can you push back?
Can't.
You got to bite your lip. Deference.
Cash that check,
I mean, you were happy to have this head coach job, a dream, but he had really given up on that dream. And he talked about at the age of 20, certainly Marty's son, his dream was to be the youngest head coach in NFL history, and that didn't happen.
Missed it by like 24 years.
24 years. And at this point in his career, when nobody was given an opportunity to be a coordinator, let alone call plays, he had all but given up on that opportunity, until the Cowboys didn't get Mike McCarthy to go along with their plan.
Yeah.
And they said, well, what about this guy? And that's kind of what it was. What about, that's kind of how you talked to Jerry, because he said that, we were talking about Schotty as possibly a play caller. They weren't necessarily at the beginning considering him as a head coach.
Right, except that they couldn't find a head coach. So they had to find one.
And so then well, what about this guy? We got McDonald's at home. I mean, that's what I come back to, because when I ask him about Ben Johnson, I ask him about Aaron Glenn, he said, well, we got Schotty at home. He said that. Well, Kellen Moore, we got Schotty at home. He's worked with Dak too. It's like we got McDonald's at home. I mean, remember
he's worked with Dak.
Your parents ever told you that,
Get Chef Boyardee at home, yeah.
We got that at home. Why did you just go out there and spend for this? We got that at home.
Y'all had food at the house growing up?
Yeah, we had food at the house growing up.
Congrats,
of course.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. But you didn't have it because it was a money issue.
No, we had money issues.
Okay. Well, we had food at the house, but Grandma, we wasn't paying for no McDonald's. We was eating at home. Schotty's at home.
Another note, like watching the press conference, and stay tuned, I'll be doing the POV today from a player's perspective when you start talking about what does this mean for the players that were in attendance. And I'll break that.
Sco's just trying to get snaps.
I'll break that down in the player perspective later on when,
Jesse would have been there.
Yes.
Jesse would have been there.
And I'm going to give you the pros and cons of having a guy that was already in-house being elevated from one position to another, because I lived that. I lived Jason Garrett being the offensive coordinator, and then midway through that thing, him becoming the head coach. So I'll have a little bit of perspective on that. So stay tuned for that. We'll get that out.
And it's interesting that the only two prominent players were there, starters, I guess, Tyler Smith and Dak Prescott. The rest of them were, and I mean, I guess you could say
Overshown was there.
Overshown's hurt. I mean, we don't want to expect him to play.
He probably getting treatment. It was just like
and I guess Jalen.
Brunson?
No,
Tolbert.
Tolbert was there. But I mean,
so much for being prominent, you can't even remember his last name.
I don't think he's prominent.
Well, he's part of the bunch of maybes.
I don't think he's prominent. But no one else. I mean, no CD, no Micah, no.
You think Jalen, when Jalen Tolbert found out that Jalen Brooks was going to the presser?
For sure.
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
There's snaps to be had here.
100%.
He'll remember this. And it is very unfair, kind of, sort of, to Schotty. But I would like to highlight Aaron Deasy's comment in the chat, because I think that it's true. Like, they made a Make-A-Wish Foundation hire where Jerry was just so happy and proud to be able to say he thought his dream was over.
Oh, my God.
And he would never be a head coach. And now
Make-A-Wish.
he's the head coach of us. Like, it was just so, look what I've done for this man, and I'm so glad that he's able to be here and shut up and let me do whatever I want.
Is it Make-A-Wish Foundation, or this when you go to Wish and find a coach? What's that Wish account, that Wish site?
Yeah, Wish.
Oh, the Wish, the Temu.
Yeah, the Temu.
Temu.
Yeah.
Find a coach on Temu.
Yeah. Did you guys used to eat butter bread? You guys ever eat butter bread?
No, that was not a thing.
No? Sorry. Joe comes from money. Coming up next.
Of course he does.
I don't come from money.
That's
What?
a spy. That's a spy.
I don't come from money.
tear
Big
up some
money.
butter bread. You guys ever butter the bottom of the bread and then put a piece of cheese on top?
I ate-
Pop that in the oven for a little bit? Make
I
some
ate
cheese
mayonnaise
toast?
on bread, dog. That's how, yeah.
Stop it, Joe.
Mayonnaise is disgusting.
That didn't even sound convincing.
That's
That didn't
You
sound
wanna-
convincing.
I'll call up Auntie Judy
That's
right
because
now.
you
That
like
didn't-
it.
that
That's
didn't
because
sound
you like
convincing.
it. Not
He
because
put
you
the
had to.
I had
That didn't
to.
sound convincing. That
I didn't have to, but I liked it.
I had mustard toast.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
didn't
we
even
all
sound convincing.
we
man.
all ate crazy
Hey,
stuff
man.
as a kid, but
Hey,
not
listen,
because
brother.
we
Be
had to.
thankful that you didn't have to have those struggle meals. That's
Yeah,
not a bad
Joe.
thing. Like, no, you don't have to say it to fit in.
I'm
That's
not-
a
Rich
just
kid.
Go ahead and
I
just
literally,
say,
it was a joke.
say I had
Silver
It's
spoon.
okay to say I had brioche bread.
I
as a
wouldn't
youth.
We did not
born
have
with a
brioche
silver
bread. It was
spoon
white
in-
bread with mayonnaise.
Miss Hawkins.
You butter your Pop-Tarts?
Then butter Pop-Tarts.
You should after you toast them. Coming up next, Steve, biggest off-season priority for the Cowboys. Hit us up in the chat. What is it? It's next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
And we're just 2 days away from the big game in town, the East-West Shrine game, the 100th year of this game. You do not want to miss out on this game. Head on over to shrinebowl.com right now. But tickets start at $20 a ticket. And I got a deal for you. Got to buy one, get one. If you buy 2 or more tickets at shrinebowl.com right now, you get those bad boys 50% off. Get those sugar mamas for 50% off. So you can bring your son, a neighbor, a nephew, a brother, a friend, whoever. You can go out there and you can check the game out. You're going to see some of the nation's best. You might not, I'll say this. You know some of the names you might not know, but these will be names that you will hear forever. So head on down to the Shrine Bowl 100 year of the game. Shador may be out there. I saw our boys are out there. Joe Hoyt was getting all the coverage from it. So there's going to be a lot of people out there. Head on out to the Shrine Bowl, shrinebowl.com. Use the promo code DLLS and get 20% off any purchase of tickets, or you can buy 2 or more and get 50% off.
Shout out to our friends at Sleeper as well, where the promo code is DLLS Boys. It's the best fantasy league platform out there, but also it's a great place to make your picks. What you do is you say, hey, I think that Pat Mahomes is going to have more or less than the projected passing yards for this week. I think that Kareem Hunt is going to have more or less than his projected rushing yards, et cetera, et cetera. With Luka been hurt for 17 years, you can pick a random Mav and just assume that he is going to have more than his projected points. You stack all them picks up. The more picks that you combine, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. That's our friends with Sleeper. All you got to do is say, do you think that these players can have more or less than their projected stats? You can pick the player from the team that you want. You can pick whatever sport you want. Have yourself a party.
Can you do higher or lower win totals for the Cowboys next year?
I don't think
Not
so.
yet? All right,
I don't
cool.
think so. I think
No, I
that's
think it's
more of a
more
gambling thing. This
Oh,
is
my
a
fault.
daily fantasy sort of thing.
Daily fantasy.
Download the
Play the
Sleeper
hits.
app. Use the code DLLS Boys on Sleeper. All right, I have a series of questions from you, and I'm a big fan of transparency.
Can we read this right quick, please?
What?
Our good friend Jeremy.
What do you say?
This is hilarious. This is funny. Yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah. This is funny.
That is so funny.
100%.
It's accurate.
100%.
My favorite DLLS moment so far,
Whoa.
and I don't even remember the topic, but my favorite so far is Chill said, I was talking to somebody off the record,
Off the record.
and he told me and then said exactly what a guy told him off the record. I didn't tell you who.
Didn't tell you who.
Yeah, okay.
Sharing information.
No, I
Sharing
like it.
information.
No, I appreciate it. And if you guys don't,
Off the
Off
record.
the
Off the record.
Well, yeah.
Well, sometimes
Oh, yeah.
off the record means you ain't got it from me.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
There's off the record of don't share this, and there's off the record of I didn't tell you.
Yeah, you ain't got it from me.
Yeah.
The biggest source of the Cowboys is Jared Jones. So I don't know why y'all tripping.
If anybody wants to be my source, just hit me up. In my
You ain't
DM.
get it from me.
Make sure you're buttering your Pop-Tarts. You got to have a toaster, though. You got to have a toaster for that. Hit the like button. We're at 97. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I need to be
It was over
100.
200 yesterday. Let's get it up. Let's get it
Super
up.
chats. Dak is a company man. He's a part of the problem. Sweet. Corey, you and Captain Thunder, I hope have a great day today.
What they want him to do? What do you want Dak to do?
I don't know.
Want him to riot? Like want the
No.
media to riot? You guys didn't ask when somebody was when Steven said that y'all didn't put. Yeah, we asked Steven about that in the walk off. Okay, you don't have a chance to go back. What do you mean, air quotes and so-called? We're supposed to fight Steven over that?
Yes.
Also, it's a private franchise. It's not like it's like public office, where you can say, hey, there's money attached to this, blah, blah, blah. The It's a private business. We're trying to get answers, and we'll do what we can, but they're going to give whatever answers they want.
And Stephen was questioned about the air quotes, and he just came. That's when he came back with the.
That's when he said, like, we've had a lot of wins, and I know that doesn't mean we're going to win the championship. And then he pivoted. Basically, he didn't answer the question at all. Actually.
Yeah, that's entitlement, arrogance, ego.
Yeah, but he was questioned about his air quote stuff.
Yeah, and he's incredibly cocky for a guy who's accomplished literally nothing in his life. And that's over the top and rude. He's accomplished a lot more than I could ever dream of. But you know what I'm saying. Off season for the Cowboys. Now it's time to get to work. Get to work. And so I ask you guys, I just totally ripped this from ESPN. They did a piece where for every team that's already been eliminated, it's the different off-season questions. Totally ripped it. That's what I like to do.
You're giving credit. You're giving credit.
Biggest off-season priority for the Dallas Cowboys. Jesse.
Oh, I'm going to say the offensive line. This, to me, the games are won and lost in the trenches. And if you're going to do anything successfully, and I don't give a damn if you bring in Saquon, you bring in Derrick Henry, or you draft Genty. If you can't block guys up front, it won't matter. Nothing you're going to be able. I don't care about tempo. I don't care about motion. I don't care about split cuts. I don't care about whatever offense you want to implement, whatever it is offensively. And that's with this offensive coach. He's going to be the guy that looks and says, I have the answers. I was under Mike McCarthy. I bit my lip. I felt like I had better solutions than what we were given week in and week out. If you can't protect, if you can't keep your quarterback upright, if you can't give him the running back the holes that he needs, if you can't give the receivers time to run whatever routes he planned on running for them, you're SOL. So for me, the biggest offseason need is solidifying and locking down at least. I'm not saying that you have to have the best offensive line. You don't have to have what the Eagles have. It would be nice.
That'd be great.
It would be nice. And you've had that in the past. Like you have been one of the teams for 4, 5, 6, 7 years that had one of the top 2 or 3 offensive lines.
Tyron, Leary, Frederick, Martin, Free.
Right. And there were moments in time where you had the number 1 offensive line. So it's not like it's a far-fetched thing, but you got to get back to securing that offensive line and really giving them a fortified front so that they can be able to do what they want to do.
Saquon, with all of his 60-something yard touchdown runs in the postseason, what's really fun is go back and watch him. He does a great job when he has to make the first guy miss after 17 yards gained.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, now it's time to get to work. That's impressive stuff. And he is incredible.
He's incredible.
He is incredible. I don't mean to say he's not
He's
incredible.
had the speed to get to the hole. Some people can't even get to the open holes.
But that's why, Zeke. That's why I can't believe you took a shot at Zeke. I can't believe
that was like subtle. You took a subtle shot at Zeke.
A lot of bags.
He's talking about Rico too.
Gainwell couldn't make them get to those holes.
Their random 4th rounder out of Clemson ran for 19 yards a carry.
The game was over at that point.
That was hilarious.
Early in the game. Defense was tired. It was done.
That's why I like the big play running backs. I like the guys who, if once I give you the chance, can you get crazy?
Yeah,
because that's what Saquon's doing.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Yes, he's a really good running back. But his thing is, you get me going, and you let me have a dude to beat. That dude's dead.
Well, that's how it's broken down. Like when you go and you watch an offensive corner break a play down, especially a running play, everybody's blocked up, and he'll go, hey,
you versus him.
This is you. Like, this is your guy. You have to make this guy miss. It's you and him. Yeah. Whether it be in the hole or at the next level, it's like, we did our job. I'm going to get everything else blocked up. This guy belongs to you. Yeah. You got to make him miss. You got to break a tackle. Whatever it is you got to do. And then it's out the gate in 88.
And the Washington game, he did that spin move on those 2 safeties. There was 2 guys he made miss.
2 bad tackles.
And the bad tackles,
the one dude was like, yeah, and he goes like, nah. But he's good.
He can make you make bad tackles. Right. In his contact balance, that's what makes special running back. The fact that he can do that spin and then get back to full speed and take it to the house. Everybody can't do that.
Genty can.
Genty can.
Genty can.
If we're going to pick a running back. If anybody can.
I know where you were going. I know where you were going.
The Genty man can.
Genty man can. We got to make that a tune.
Get ready because he's going to get picked number 12 overall.
Good.
Joe, biggest offseason priority.
Biggest offseason priority, and this might come across as almost like victim blaming a little bit, but I think they need to call Micah Parsons on his bluff, and if they can get him for cheaper than the greatest or the best, highest paid defensive player in the league. And if they can get it done early, I think you got to get it done.
Oh, your biggest priority is a little pocket watching?
Yep.
You're doing a little pocket watching.
100%. You know, like you talk, because at least at the very least, you talk about with the Joneses, they're always sensitive of the cap. We got to be better with it. Well, you know how you be better with the cap is actually getting a guy to sign cheaper. And I don't think it's going to happen, but I think you got to check that first. And at the end of the day, you got to get Micah Parsons done first and then go from there. You cannot wait. You cannot wait. Stop waiting. Get it done.
It's great if you can get players to play for under market value because you have salary cap. That's wonderful. But I mean, like I can write out Micah's contract and I'll be within 1%. I can write it out right now.
Do it.
So if they wait, I'll give you. Let me get Bosa's numbers. Add $5 million total.
100%.
Add $2 or $3 million guaranteed over whatever Nick Bosa did, and you have Micah's deal. The Cowboys know that. Micah's people know that. That's the deal he's going to get. If they wait and they wait and they wait, the number will not change. He is absolutely going to sign for $5 million total, more than Nick Bosa did for the same years, with a couple million more guaranteed. That's the number. And that's the world that the Cowboys refuse to operate in until it's time that it's getting too late, and then they come to reality.
You got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing in free agency.
Okay,
just sign.
You got to know what you're doing.
But Jerry is right. What he called out Dak. It is on Dak. And it was on CDs. The parameter of those deals were done well before they were signed. And CD asked for a little more, and the general numbers are there, but how you pay it out,
I call cap on that. Get it done.
No. I'm gonna tell you how you pay it out.
Other teams don't go those ways.
We're not saying other teams. I'm just saying that it is on the players have to agree to it. And they want a little extra here, a little juice here, or whatever else. But there were reasons why.
And you could give it to them, or you could wait 2 more years and get bent all the way over, and then see what's at the very top of the market, add 10%. And
are you talking about the first contract? I'm talking about the second contract.
The second contract got pretty good, too.
First contract they should have done early for sure.
Clarence, biggest offseason priority?
Changing how they do business. Signing players in free agency, really being active in free agency. I mean, I just think that's something they talked about yesterday, and it's also something I want to tote. But, yeah, they got to continue to sign. I mean, they got to change how they approach free agency. They have to, because it doesn't matter who the coach is. That's one thing from the beginning, I said, I'm not excited necessarily about the coaching search, because it doesn't matter if it's Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn or it's bring McCarthy back or you get a Schottenheimer. If they don't change how they add players to this team, it doesn't matter. You're going to be in the same vortex. I think this has the makings of a win healthy playoff team. The question is, can you get to the Super Bowl? Can you do what the Eagles have done? And you need to do some of the things the Eagles are doing, not just signing on players, but adding players and supplementing the things you do in the draft and the players you have in this roster. I go back to 2016. It frustrates me to no end, because people keep talking about you can't win when you pay the quarterback. You got to pay. Well, they had Dak on a rookie deal. Okay, They had Dak on a rookie deal. They went 13-3. They got beat by miraculous play by Aaron Rodgers. They knew going into next year that Zeke would probably be be suspended. They did nothing in the offseason to improve their team. They did nothing in the offseason to add to what they were done, to build on their success. They just said, we're just going to get your second year jump. We got guys, they're going to be better. But they did nothing to ensure that they take it to the next level. And so that's what frustrates me. People keep talking about Dak's money and Dak's money. You can't. Well, they had an opportunity when Dak was not getting paid, and they still did not sign anybody. Yeah, it's what they do.
That's why the glimmer of hope yesterday was the fact that they actually acknowledged, hey, we got to be better at this, we got to be better at that. Obviously, words are just things, and you got to put action to it. But the fact that they actually acknowledged it, that was the first time I'd ever heard that. Who knows?
My first offseason priority, and to retain your own, you don't have to wait for free agency, right? Sign Osa, Odighizuwa, and Jordan Lewis today.
Yeah.
Do it today. You've let yourself get in a spot where you are in such deep doo-doo, a number of positions, and if you lose Osa and or Jordan Lewis, you are down multiple starters at multiple positions with no answer. Yeah. And you can't live in that world. So my priority is Mozzie Smith can't be your best defensive tackle. Sign Osa today.
100%.
Kalen Carson can't be your second corner. Sign Jordan Lewis today. So go ahead, guys. I don't know. It's not spring break yet, so you guys could do a little bit of business before you take off. Coming up next, it is a Tote That Thing
Tote
Tuesday.
that thing!
Of all the things that were said in the press conference yesterday, if you could tote one of them into reality, it's not just words. They're actually going to do it. Which one do you like? It's next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
And we're in the perfect season for a fresh pair of shades. Spring is right around the corner. We're ending with fall, so get your mind right, get your eyes right, and get you a pair of polarized Shady Rays sunglasses. If you use the promo code DLLS, going over to ShadyRays.com, use our promo code, you will get 35% off a pair of polarized glasses. I mean, these glasses have over 305-star reviews. We all have a pair. We all love our shades. We have them in different styles. And what I love about Shady Rays is if you get a pair and you get to you and you try them on in the mirror and you go, not really my swag, not really my thing. Shady Rays goes, no problem, bro. You send those boys right back. You pick another pair and they replace them for free. Or if you're like me, sometimes I get a little bit big-handed and I break them. Forget they're sitting around. Yeah, I'm big-handed and I break them. Shady Rays goes, you send those bad boys back. We'll send you the same pair back for free. So head over to ShadyRays.com, use the promo code DLLS and get 35% off the 5-star rated polarized sunglasses today.
All right, let's also talk about our friends at Rugged Road, RuggedRoadOutdoors.com. Use the promo code DLLS. It gets you 10% off. Rugged Road is dedicated to creating innovative, durable outdoor gear for adventurers, people who demand the best. Their products are designed with the highest quality materials, best craftsmanship, and they perform in the toughest conditions. Rugged Road gear is for your every adventure. We're talking about coolers. I love a good cooler. I love a Rugged Road cooler. They got floatability, one of the most unique features.
Upright.
Their ability to always float upright. Never lose a drink if you're out there floating a river. Sometimes I just sit in my pool with my Rugged Road cooler. I just stand there. Cold
You skinny dip?
Yes. I got a fence. It's not
Is
too
it a tall fence?
It's not the tallest.
Okay.
But, I mean, if you look back here, that's your business. Shout out to our friends at Rugged Road, your ultimate outdoor companion, RuggedRoadOutdoors.com, DLLS promo code. All right. I need a football, don't I? Let me see that thing. See that thing.
Throw
Bow!
that
See that? Bow!
thing.
See how you frame it up?
That was really
That's a good
aesthetically
frame.
pleasing.
That's a good
You gotta
frame.
Yeah, that was a good
thing
frame.
That's a
up.
good frame.
That's why you was this close.
You know what they say? I was that close to the league.
Close, baby.
See the point? Squeeze the fat. See the point? Squeeze the fat.
Get into the catch.
Okay.
Anyway. My problem is I just couldn't
the
get off
fat.
press. I just couldn't get off press coverage.
Put you in motion.
I like that self-awareness.
It'll put you in motion.
Yeah, I showed up to Adelaide Christian by 6'3", 182. You know, he got on the line. These A&M transfers. One-on-one, your boy was just standing still.
I'm the Z. Get me off the ball.
Yeah, you know, you put me in that slot. Give me a little room to operate. We route him up a little bit. The Tote That Thing Tuesday is going to be, they had an hour-long press conference yesterday introducing Brian Schottenheimer as the head coach. There were a lot of things said by a lot of people. If you could make one of them be true, if you could tote something that one of those humans said at that presser and make it true, what would you like it to be? We're going to tote that thing to Clarence.
Oh.
No look.
I saw you
I
at
did
the
see that
point
no
of it
look.
hit you in the nipple.
You said no look.
No, it was
No
good.
look catch right there.
Peripherals.
No look. You said
Clarence
peripheral.
Hill.
Body catcher.
Tote that thing.
Body catcher.
You got to be Sade talking about the things he plans to do on offense with the shifts and motions in the run game. I mean, modernizing the Cowboys offense, finally getting the Cowboys into the 21st century
21st.
and how they do business.
We are 21st.
I think
Yes.
we're in the 21st
Yeah.
century. Modernizing the offense, shifts and motions, cut motions, running the ball. I mean, one thing I wrote last weekend about Shoddy is it's about the run game, the thing he's going to fix. And the Cowboys talked about people close to the Cowboys, people on the Cowboys, sources say he's going to fix the running game. It's going to be about run action, play action,
Who are the sources?
run action, play action.
Anthony Lynn.
That's what it's going to be about, and that's what Dak needs. You know, one thing I saw in the playoffs this week, and I just hope Dak does a lot of yoga,
Pilates. He can come with me to Pilates.
yoga.
I saw him doing this.
Stretch.
I saw him doing this yesterday.
I need you to
actually.
stretch
little bit of
because
He was doing a little.
the
this
quarterback
I'm worried about
run,
your hips, brother. I'm worried about your hammies.
especially in big games. I mean, that's what football's about now. You have to have a quarterback. He's an unaccounted for weapon for most teams. The quarterback running. I mean, Patrick Mahomes running and scoring touchdowns. And DeMar Hamlin, you almost died a couple of years ago.
Why would you?
Bro.
I'm sorry. He
Just
said
out of
that.
nowhere.
I mean,
We're
listen,
35 minutes in.
I mean, we know, but why?
Did he just like I'm running through you?
I do think
Did he like I'm running through you?
every time that DeMar doesn't make a play, which I feel like happens a lot, I do think the same thing. I'm like, you did almost die.
Bro, there's certain things you don't say.
I
You
mean,
don't
he's
say
not
fire
gonna
on
be-
a,
he's
in
not
a
gonna
movie
be
theater.
physical.
I think technically he did die, didn't he?
He did die.
He technically
Yeah.
died for like a half a
I
second.
mean,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
love the story, but again, Dak,
You love that he almost died? That's the story you love?
You're
I
sick.
love his story, his comeback story.
You're
Okay,
That's not him. It's a hologram.
okay.
Deep fake.
That Patrick Mahomes ran through the hologram. The bottom line is emphasize the run, and on top of emphasizing the run, we need the quarterback run back in again. That's what made Dak great at Mississippi State. That made him great early in his career. That weapon has to be
Buddy,
back
those
in
Mississippi
offense.
State days,
They gone.
long gone.
Listen, Patrick Mahomes runs probably about a 5-flat 40 right now. You don't have to run all the time, but it still needs to be a weapon.
They gone.
Functional athleticism is a thing. You know, Pat
They
Mahomes
gone.
ran the same 40 time as Jared Goff at the combine.
That's
Right.
crazy. What?
And it was 4.8, and
I think it was like 4.88 to
Yeah, it was
4.89.
I don't know if I'm more surprised that Jared Goff ran a 4.8 or that Mahomes ran a 4.8.
So did Dak.
Oh,
They're all the same athlete in theory.
Yeah.
They're not.
they're not.
No, Mahomes can move. Can I have the ball?
But he's
please?
more decisive with it. That's what I'm saying. When he wants to go, he's decisive with it.
And he's more fluid. You got got a little something to him. Hips don't lie.
But he's got like thick fluid where it's
I mean,
like
he
you
got
know,
a dad
it's-
bod, and he's still,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. Do you have anything else incredibly insensitive or shocking you want to say before we?
laying down.
I had some earlier when you was talking about squeezing the fat, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
Okay.
You said the put. I said I had some. Leave it
See
alone.
the tip, squeeze the fat.
No,
See?
it's, yeah, yeah.
You said
no.
point earlier. Now
Yep.
you went to the tip. So you,
Yep.
your
added-
mind. I can get you
He
going
added tip.
down.
He did add tip,
He
right?
did, 'cause earlier
add
was the
tip.
point,
No,
now
it
it's
was
the
point.
tip.
Now he's saying tip.
See the tip. See the point. See the tip.
You said point earlier.
I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
Joe Hoyt. Tote that thing.
So, because my big takeaway from that press conference was to Jesse's point earlier, how much Jerry just kept hammering home, like, oh, hey, here's my risk, by the way, the
Yeah.
big risk right here. So, I'm going to tote Jerry taking risks, in the front office taking risks. And actually, if you want to make that a thing and do it in free agency and via trades and actually go make some risky moves and go all in, I think that's what you got to tote, is the idea of taking risks and having that be a thing. One of the things we were going to talk about was predictions for the offseason. My prediction is that the Cowboys trade for Tyler Lockett. Go use one of your compensatory picks. Go get Tyler Lockett to bring your veteran receiver to prepare with Schottenheimer again, a guy that he loves.
Okay.
Do things like that.
Okay.
You know, where you're just like, you know what? Maybe Tyler Lockett's over the hill, right? But he's an expiring free agent.
I mean, he's over the hill better than anyone else.
That's what I'm saying. Go get a fifth
Tyler
round.
Lockett, Brandon Cooks,
Same
potatoes,
guy.
potato, tomato, tomatoes. But okay,
But it's a risk. I think that with 1 year,
Don't let Jesse hate on you like that.
no, I think it's a good risk.
You want a risk? I got a risk for you.
Let's hear it.
Sign T. Higgins.
Oh, I would love that.
Big bank, baby.
Remember I toted that thing after we played the Bengals? I said, what's one thing we're toting from that? You just keep him there at AT&T Stadium. So
Or actually, just go and trade for Jamar Chase. They ain't gave him a contract.
And Jerry said that he's actually taken more risks the last 5 years than he ever had in his career.
Jerry's full of shit.
that's
I'm taking risks. I took a risk on that.
that's
See,
the
he
one.
said
That's
it.
the
That
one.
was
you
my
got
one.
one. There it
That
is.
was my one.
That's his one.
I took a risk on Dak.
Yeah, your fourth round comp pick.
I took a.
I don't think you really even had. You had no choice. You lost Romo.
Yeah, I'm
Kellen broke his ankle. Jamil Showers went to play safety. It was like he only had left. It was like, well, what else we got here? Come on, give the kid a shot.
I mean,
I took a
they
risk
haven't even
on.
tried to find a quarterback literally since Aikman.
That'd be the better risk, by the way, is the DK Metcalf.
Go
Ooh,
get
now
DK.
we're
That
talking.
would be a better risk.
I like some
Now we're
bullies.
talking. Now we're
I
talking.
like that.
I like some bullies.
Mhm.
Are we having a referendum on how good Metcalf is at all? Just
No.
watching Brown, they were both receivers, came out the same. We're both in Mississippi.
Wow, Jackson Smith and Jigba's here, baby.
I'm just asking.
They just got somebody else that showed up. I'll take DK. I'll take DK.
You're right, as a compliment, but is he was supposed to be a number one. Is
Yeah.
he a number one at this point is what I'm asking.
I think
AJ
he's
Brown
close
is the
enough
number
that I'd
one.
be really happy to have him.
I think he'd be great with CD.
Yeah.
Right, as a compliment.
As a compliment. Yeah, but
That'd be
that's
fine.
not a disservice to him.
That'd be fine. Run a little play action here, get a little hut.
Uh-oh.
Pull that thing away.
Pull that thing.
Kind of drop real quick. Check the
Oh, he's going to pull a Dak
linebacker.
Prescott.
Looks like he bit on that.
Oh.
Shoulder there to Jesse. Jesse Holly. Tote that thing.
What I'm toting that I heard in the press conference till next season, Brian Schottenheimer said, looked in the camera, he got into that good tone where his voice dropped down, almost crackled a little bit. He looked out and he said, it's about the players. It's about the players. If we're going to have any success here, it's going to be about those guys. And if he's true,
Well, was that him talking crap to the Joneses?
I don't know.
He's like, y'all got to sign some players.
I don't know.
He's like those guys, and the guys also everywhere else.
We don't got the players.
But for me, it's as an offensive designer, schemer, caller, you have to really be able to assess what you have as players. You have to know what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, and don't make them fit into the mold of what your offense will be. Fit your offense into the mold of the players that you have. Accentuate them. Show them and showcase them in ways that they will be successful. One of the things that I did learn during my cup of coffee in New England was Bill Belichick was really, really, really good about just putting players in the perfect position to be successful. Like it was like, hey, if you run from here to that light pole the best, here's what I'm going to have you do. Run from here to that light pole every single time. Now, you can't mess that up. Because we're going to need you to go from here to that light pole every single time because you're the very best that we have from doing that. And so if it's going to be about the players, then really make it about the players. Really make it about what we're doing with the guys that we're having. Like, don't have Kevontae Turpin running go routes down the sideline.
Facts.
That's not a good decision for that player.
Put that ball in the money, baby.
Put
You
that
got it.
player in a position where he can be the most successful.
In the backfield or running drags.
Whatever it is, but make it make sense to what you are doing. Don't make them fit into your box. Build your box around the players. So that's what for what I heard in that. Make it about the players. Go all the way with it.
Yeah, don't have Brandon Cooks running stop routes.
At some point, you have to be able to do more than one thing. Otherwise, you're only allowed to play 10 plays a game.
I understand that, but
Why are you taking shots at Mingo?
Look, Brandon Cooks, you're supposed to be fast. Fast is supposed to mean you can get open on a stop route. People are supposed to be scared of you. You're not fast anymore.
He's small, stop route.
Small,
He's
not fast.
too small.
You don't stop very fast. He's about done. He's dusty. He's dusty. Jesse, was Belichick an absolute wizard at situational football?
Yes. Situational football was his forte. He understood every aspect of situational football. He knew when it was going to happen. I'll tell a quick story. When I was with Dallas, we played New England. We lost to New England with like 8 seconds left. Aaron Hernandez catches a touchdown in the back of the end zone, and he gets up out of there.
I'll let Aaron Hernandez score.
Yeah, we didn't let him. They took it. He did what he wanted.
He's high on PCP.
Wait, you were
Sir.
there when Aaron Hernandez was there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir.
I was there the same year when I left, he went on and got convicted of murder.
You
Anyway,
ever high-five him?
Sure did.
Man, you
Rode in the
touched
car with
Aaron
him.
Hernandez?
I did. I'm accessory to murder. No.
And y'all talking about me.
But
Y'all
when I-
talking about me.
But when I got to New England, we were watching old film of when the Cowboys were playing New England. And I listened to Bill Belichick break down 2 series before they actually got the ball back, what they were going to do to a T. And then when you watched it play out, I was like, oh, that was crazy.
Bro.
Did he predict the Hernandez thing?
Did he have that
You
foresight?
didn't see that one coming,
that
did
was
he?
that was bad situational relevance for everybody.
That's unfortunate.
All right, Jeff, your turn. Jeff Kavanaugh,
Tote that thing. I'm begging you, Steven. I'm pleading.
To do what?
You know me. I show the utmost reverence and I worship at the shrine of the Joneses. And so I'm just here as a humble servant asking that your powerful, great family sign the free agents that you said you have to sign before it's time to do the NFL draft. That's all. Because when I tell you, my friend, my leader, Stephen Jones, you're my leader. When I tell you, boy, we need to feel better about left tackle before we go draft. Oh, we need to feel better about linebacker before we go draft. We need to feel better about corner before we go draft. We probably need to put someone back there to be able to take a handoff before the draft. I guess you could survive at tight end. My worry is they're not going to do much on offensive line or receiver because they could go take the field at least, and they're going to worry about other things. But please sign 8 people before it's time to go draft. You said you get it. You know how it works. The reason you're able to get the CeeDee Lambs of this world is because you don't have to do anything. Make sure you're not set up to have to do something. Go sign an offensive lineman that's starting caliber. Same with a linebacker. Same with a corner. Same with a running back. Same with a wide receiver, but if you do it, it's got to be a good one. I don't need somebody to just throw in a room with Tolbert and Turpin and Brooks and Mingo. I need a dude.
I don't like how you said Mingo. Mingo.
Okay, you say Mingo. Say it better than I did.
Tolbert, Turpin, and Mingo. You put dirt all over Mingo's name.
I don't put dirt on his name. He's in the room with them. There's nothing about him that's more qualified than Jalen.
I also don't think it's Mingo's fault that he was traded for a
It's just how
fourth
you
round.
added it. Tolbert and Turpin and Mingo.
Well, he's less accomplished than both of them.
Yeah.
Mingo.
Anyway. Coming up next.
The face you make too.
Bingo.
We got some draft things and some offseason questions to continue with next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Also, we thank you guys for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. Everybody who's in here that's hit the like button, that's chatting, that's super chatting, all those things are good for the algorithm. And so we love you. 216 likes is acceptable at this point in the show. If we don't end with 271, I will be disappointed. But we love you guys. We also want to encourage you to sign up to be a diehard. That's how you take your love for what we do to the next level. And it helps you out, too, because you get cool stuff.
Sure do.
When you sign up to be a diehard at alldlls.com, you get a free T-shirt from the merch shop. They're pretty sweet.
And a visor.
You don't get a free visor with your T-shirt.
We got to get visors going.
We do need to get visors going. We need to get some shot visors going. So, yeah, you get a free T-shirt. You get discounts, 20% on merchandise, discount 20% on events, including we've got our Mavs watch party against the Celtics coming up February 6th at Cosm.
Let's
ride.
ride.
alldlls.com/events if you want to get in on that. And if you're a diehard, guess what? You get 20% off on that ticket. And them tickets come with a little price tag now.
Little bit.
Cosm is awesome.
Little bit.
They didn't give us free stuff. You got to pass on what the price is now. alldlls.com/events. We make 2 cents per ticket. So, yeah, you get hooked up when you sign up for that. Also, you get I saw Fran Duffy, our draft guy at ALLCITY. His guide is now live. It's an interactive draft guide. There's like 170 guys already, and it's super awesome. You can use it on draft night, follow along with rankings and all of those things. You get an ad-free experience on our website when you're a diehard. You get access to all of our premium content from Joe, Clarence. Jesse and I might sneak something over there.
You should.
Sneak it.
Do
Feet
it.
Picks. Let's go.
We might sneak something over there.
I got some feet picks I'm trying to get off.
Some
You
feet
get
pics.
access to our, weird phrasing, to our Discord lounge where we talk about feet picks and all sorts of other stuff. It's all a good time.
Trying to get it out there.
It's all a good time.
You know?
So join us. Sign up to be a diehard or else, which
Or
of
else.
course is not a threat. 271 likes is what we're looking for. Hayers in the super chat to the great Jay Holly. If we don't take a wide receiver early, is Mingo the de facto wide receiver 2? We need competition at every spot with wide receiver 2 at the top.
Yeah, right now he would be. I mean, Jalen Tolbert, he had his shot. Brooks, they had their shot. I don't know if Cooks will be here next year. When you break it down, it's CeeDee and a bunch of maybes, and I think Mingo will absolutely get that chance to be the de facto number 2 wide receiver.
And I think I can't decide if I love it or hate it. Like, they overpaid for Mingo for sure. You could have just been like, absolutely not, and they would have called you right back and been like, just kidding about the 4th round thing. What about a 6? You'd be like, better. I think they overpaid for him, but they are clearly, or were maybe. You have a new coach now, who knows? But like Ryan Flournoy, Jalen Brooks, Jonathan Mingo, they are throwing as much as they can at. Can we find a big wide receiver?
Mhm.
Can we find the outside guy?
Yeah, you need a
so
big
we
guy.
can keep doing these things.
But these two guys, when I said it, both of you frowned your face up.
I think JT's the sole de facto too.
Oh,
the way things are.
I think he lost his opportunity this year. I think this year was his year where they were like, we're giving you every opportunity to jump up and be the number
he
2.
crushed it, dude. Didn't he have like
And-
600-700 yards?
And he didn't do well. Like,
I think he did okay.
to be the number 2 wide receiver.
No, but that's the
with
point.
Brandon Cooks being out for 4 or
First
5
of all,
No, that's the point. Is they got to address that.
Let's be honest.
610
They don't
yards,
have a
7
number
tutties.
2.
They got to
And that's
address
all
that.
they
Yeah.
need. Yeah, I don't know if Mingo was the guy. I just don't think they have a number 2. That's what they need to address in the draft.
Can I ask you a question? Who does number 2 work for? What else we got in the super chat?
That was a great reference, by
Thank
the way.
you. Stephen Jones not using at the end of the day was a first. Did he use obviously? Because he also
He did use obviously many times.
Yeah, he'll hit you with
Obviously.
Guillotine's in the chat, which is such a great name. I want to get a guillotine at the house. I was so mad Friday night that I registered a website over jerrysdeadbody.com to hopefully shame our rabbit-eared owner. Or get him so mad he buys me out.
Wait.
I mean, the Fire Jerry hats guy, they've been trying to get us to retweet the Fire Jerry hats. And
Somebody DM me to try to get me to retweet.
yes, I know. And I'm not. I mean, it's not working.
Can we do Fire Jerry visors?
Jerry's not leaving. He's not retiring. He told me yesterday he wasn't retiring. He's not changing him.
Damn it.
I'm not finding it over jerrysbody.com, deadbody.com. So
Night 405. Well, you're going to hear from Jerry for even looking it up. You can't beat the Eagles by copying the Eagles. You could if you do it better. And you have a better quarterback.
Oh, we're under construction. Please check back for an update soon. Never mind. Sorry.
Why you question that man?
Nesto with Eberflus being DC, is he going to have Micah move around and use him like a weapon, or is he going to have him in one position?
Put you in the guillotine.
We don't know.
But I think
anybody that doesn't figure out how to use Micah shouldn't coach football.
Right.
Like I think Micah will be all over the place and destroying quarterbacks like he does.
Eberflus is smart enough to know that he has a special player in Micah,
right.
And moving him around would behoove. It would be smart of him to do that in his defense.
And the linebackers in Indy were good with him. I mean, kid from
they had that one.
Darius Leonard?
Yeah,
Darius Leonard, who just
before he got hurt, before he fell off. Eberflus was part of his
You think
development.
he can do that with Buddy Johnson?
I think he can do that with Micah. I'm saying the guy's going.
Shout out to Buddy. I like Buddy. Buddy's a cool dude.
Buddy's a nice dude. Buddy's
I was just throwing out a name because we don't have any linebackers.
He's
he's on the roster.
I was saying that I shook my head like in such disgust, but I actually like.
We like Buddy, but not a difference maker.
That's the hard part.
Like, he's a solid special teams kid. Yeah, so
love hometown kids.
Yeah,
that's the hard part about our job. Is like Michael Gallup as a person. I was like, that's one of the sweetest men on planet Earth.
Yeah, 100%.
When he came back from the ACL, I was like, he has nothing. Yeah. And you say it out loud, but why do you hate Gallup? And I'm like, you don't understand. I think that he's the sweetest.
Yeah.
I think he's great. He can't stop anymore or change direction anymore, and that makes life hard. Jordan says, "Oh, behave," which means that Jordan caught the "Who does number 2 work for?" reference.
Who does number 2 work for?
And I will tell you that by the numbers, I think you guys weren't supposed to catch that reference.
we weren't. I didn't get it.
It's Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you were supposed to.
Yeah, Mike Myers. Not a big Mike Myers fan.
I thought it was like a boo-boo joke, like a number 2 joke.
So it is a boo-boo joke. There's a guy.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's Lucky Charms.
There's a guy who is going number 2. I'm trying to remember. He sneaks in from behind Austin Powers, who's dropping a deuce, and he's like trying to choke him out. And then Austin Powers gets a hold of him, and the bad guy's name is number 2. And so he's trying to fight this guy while he's in the stall, and there's somebody next door who hears all this happening, and there's water splashing, and he's going, "Who does number 2 work for?" Who's sitting next to him in the stall? It's a real actor. It's funny as hell.
I know. I forget
it's
his
Tom
name.
Arnold.
Tom Arnold.
And he's like, "Hey, that's right. Give it hell over there." He's cheering for him because he thinks he's talking to his poo.
Yeah, he's like, "You tell him who it works for, huh? You tell him.
You tell that turd who's boss."
He's like, "We're gonna get through this, man."
Yeah.
Anyway, Guillotine says, "Alphas don't lie." Joe, tell him, Phil.
I'm just laughing that a guy named Guillotine got a website that says over Jerry's dead body. I mean, it's hilarious.
Listen, he gonna put you in the guillotine. Okay? He gonna put you in the guillotine.
Over Joe's Dead Body Next.com?
Yeah, put him in the guillotine.
Jerry absolutely owns a guillotine. Somewhere at one of the estates, he's got the equipment to drop that thing and just
probably definitely in Arkansas.
Probably in Arkansas.
Does he have a swing?
Arkansas.
Probably in Arkansas. Yeah. Arkansas slice.
Jesse.
Tell him something, Joe.
Daniel Jeremiah had his first prospect rankings come out. I love when we get to see all sorts of different opinions from people that I respect in the business as different rankings come out. My buddy Dane Brugler is one of the best. Fran Duffy that works for us is one of the best. Daniel Jeremiah, Mel Kiper, et cetera, et cetera. Bunch of dudes. I am the best, but a lot of people are good at it. But a lot of people are good at it.
You're fantastic.
And
we hit a 271.
What?
272.
272.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Oh, I
Hit a
undershot
300 then. Let's go.
I undershot it. And Joe pointed out that this was out because Joe and I like to talk draft, and you guys were like, yeah, that's fine, whatever.
We like to talk draft too. We
we'll
like to
hang out.
listen to you guys talk draft.
We'll hang out. And Joe asked me, he was like, who do you think his number one is? And I was like, well, I know who number one should be. And it was. We've gotten to the point where we've all caught up. We're all caught up now.
Mhm.
And Travis Hunter is incredible, and I would love to have him on my football team. He's the second best prospect in this draft. Abdul Carter is the best.
Yep.
The Penn State pass rusher is an absolute monster. He's kind of Micah. And that's unfair to project because I don't care if you're the number one overall pick or not. Thinking any number one overall pick is going to be as good as Micah Parsons is probably overshooting it. It's probably getting out over your skis a little bit. But he's a monster. So if we could get a gas mask situation, you guys remember Laramie Tunsil?
Laramie Tunsil.
I don't even think in today's time, if you had a gas
It wouldn't-
mask,
it
that
wouldn't
he
matter.
wouldn't drop.
No.
Wouldn't bother you?
No,
What would be today's equivalent of a gas mask?
if you had a Leo Collins situation, he would drop.
He did.
Yes, they did want to visit with him about someone who is no longer living. Yeah.
I even think
When you put it that way, I mean,
If that is what happened to Lyle Collins.
if there was a video,
he
if
was
there
a
was-
girlfriend gets unalived.
He was a person of
Oh my
interest.
God.
And by the way, I love Lyle Collins and his entire family. So I'm just pointing out facts of that draft year.
yeah.
But I love that entire
Talking
family,
about
and he
Aaron
had nothing to
Hernandez?
do with anything in that. So what were
If
you
there
saying?
was video of Abdul Carter like shooting up in a bathroom like Jamie Foxx and Ray, I don't think he would drop.
wow.
Okay, so I don't want to go to the places that would make it possible.
I know, and
because
I
it seems very
sparked
wrong.
it. Yeah, no, it's my bad.
Yeah, no, yeah, well, because they're
Gas
in my
mask
head.
ain't gonna. Gas mask ain't
Give me
gonna.
mine.
drop.
Gas mask ain't gonna-
He's good.
Yeah, he could. He
Give
could,
my shaving kit.
he could
Give
tie.
my
Yeah,
shaving
he could
kit.
tie. He could tie one off, and
Give
they're
my
gonna be
shaving
like, "Well,
kit. Where my shaving
we'll
kit?
work with him. We'll
Yeah.
work with him. We'll work with him.
Give
We'll
my
get him."
shaving kit.
Also, Jeff, who's number 3 on that ranking?
Travis Hunter's number 2. Ashton Genty is number 3.
Does he make it to
If
12?
Genty's number 3 and you pass on him at 12,
You would be acknowledging positional value.
but I thought it was always about the best player. The best player on the board is there, and he's number 3 on your board. It's like CD falling.
And
It's
Steven
number
pointed
the
that out.
best player.
That's why I would be okay with Genty at 12. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'm not in love with it. I'm okay with it because I grant that there is a middle ground between you can't take a running back in the first round and the best player. Ashton Genty is an incredible football player. The plays where you give him a chance, he can do the Saquon stuff and turn. You give him 5, he might go ahead and get you the next 5. You give him 15, he might get you the next 50. Ashton Genty's a stud. If they took him at 12, that's fine. But then you would have to demand that your front office make it worth that pick.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't run Tyler Guyton out at left tackle and Brock Hoffman at right guard and Terrence Steele at right tackle and be like, don't worry, we got Ashton Genty. We're going to run all over people. No, you're not.
So you agree with my assessment earlier?
We got brewed
about
off.
solidifying that offensive line.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree with it too.
Absolutely.
They got to figure it out. They can't just roll
You
back.
got-
and
I
don't,
think
they
it's
can't just run it back.
I mean,
So
I-
don't go get Genty.
I mean, I like
No,
Brock
no,
Hoffman.
do that and then go get
Brock
Genty.
Hoffman is a nice story, and I like that he's feisty.
He
but
may
is
be-
he? But is he good? I mean,
Right.
what the Eagles are doing with their offensive line, Brock Hoffman ain't part of that. I don't care how he likes to fight and get under people's,
Yeah.
skin. I want a good football player more than I want his attitude.
That's fair.
And I think it's a matter of there are different avenues to do all of these things. I do think that if you drafted Ashton Genty at 12th overall and left the same offensive line in place, it's not a good idea. If you did that and then traded for an upgrade at right guard and signed a veteran starting left tackle, you've given yourself a better chance. And then if it turns out that Guyton can develop and be better than somebody, great. You take his job then. And if somebody gets hurt, now Brock Hoffman can play. But yeah, I would want them to put more resources down into making sure that you're giving your number 12 overall pick a chance to be a monster. Zeke got to be a monster because Zeke was really good and he ran behind monsters.
Yeah.
And that was fun. It's fun.
This is a topic for another day probably, but am I crazy to think that maybe you can move Tyler Guyton to guard?
I don't know if that lines up with his strengths because he's not a good run blocker.
Yeah.
Like that's where he needs to get better. And I feel like that's what you do with tackles who are maulers but not athletic enough.
But he gets cooked by small little guys with speed. That's
True.
why I'm just on
Maybe.
the outside. I don't know. That's
Maybe.
Austin Richards left tackle, moving to guard. I don't know.
Maybe.
It gets cooked, period.
We got draft.
Relax on my Tar Heel, dude.
We got draft
Relax
people.
on
We
my-
going after the Tar Heel? Oh,
I
sorry.
was
like
talking
Austin.
about Guyton.
I like Austin's
Oh, you
potential.
said, he was talking about Austin.
No,
You
I
said-
like
you
Austin's
said
No, I was
potential.
talking about Guyton.
No, he's
You
talking about
said-
Guyton, and I like Austin's
Oh,
potential.
yeah, okay. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
You want to tear down
I mean, they're
Texas?
not that good in basketball this year. I just wanted to do the record show.
We'll see when the end of the year.
Is Texas pretty good?
Oregon's good.
Oregon's good.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought they went but you got the best teams.
That's what I'm saying.
Ain't that crazy?
Let's go Ducks.
Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody.
Never won nothing.
We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.
Or else
First
not
men's
great.
basketball championship ever.
Never won nothing.
We all silly like the mayor.